Good morning. It's actually sunny this morning, so I thought that we'd start with a bit of a walk around the yard. The grass is overgrown. We haven't been able to get outside to do the lawn or anything for a few weeks, so I thought we'd start over by the chicken coop and take a walk around. That's the lemon tree. We've been trying to cut away the lower branches and get it to grow up, and it seems to, with a bit of sun, have come up. This is the pink and white bougainvillea. Not many flowers right now in comparison with the red one. And indeed with the red one, if I walk into the deeper grass, you can see that we have the passion flower vine now growing through the flowers. So it's a really nice combination of the purples and the pinks. You can see another one right in here, and the vines coming up. And it's actually, I'm really enjoying it. It's rather pretty. And considering the number of years I've been searching for this particular color red, I'm happy about it. This is the Maximilian sunflower. I think we planted this, I want to say last year, and we got one flower. And this is what it's looking like right now. You can see here last week after the rains, we ended up having to tie it with some twine to the pole that we have in for the when we were training the rose bush, because with the rains they were so heavy. We even have it with hollyhock. We've had to tie it back. Everything fell over because it was heavy. We need to do some trimming back of some things because with the rain and a little bit of sun, we've had a lot of things blooming and coming about. So these, remember last year when we started planting these, they're supposed to be plants that we can put in the garden during the summer and into the fall as it starts getting hot, and we haven't done that. So we actually have some rather large coleus now, and look at that color with all the water. That's now more, has a white edge instead of cream edge, I guess you can say, instead of being very red. And this one is looking beautiful as well as this, so we should put some of these in the garden. The white one I need to put in a bigger pot. You can see with all the rain it's washed the soil out, so we need to do some topping up. I think I might actually move this snapdragon. It's looking so gorgeous, so I do want to perhaps put it in the pot along the driveway. Over here we have this area. We have the Stephanotis that's still holding on from last year, and it looks like it's had some new growth, and more coleus. And this is the area, because of the fact that we do so much with the tree blowing over last year, that we've done a lot of work propping things up in this area, that we moved so much stuff out of the way, and now it's all starting to come back a bit. Again, more plants that used to be over on the side that need to go in the ground or be given as gifts. And then looking over the fence, we'll probably go down for our next tour. We have the frangipani starting to flower now, and with the leaves and such. And of course we still have all of the roses, those little white pep rose growing through. And over here you can see the red bougainvilleas over the fence, looking great. So we have a lot of go down there and see if we have agapanthus and thing out. This is the little seeding area that we put together last year. The coleus is what we put in last year as well, and it's looking great. We have some Dusty Miller in the corner, and we cut back a lot of branches last year, so that we could sit in this area. We have the birthday hydrangea in the corner, and it's flowering beautifully. Let's try to get a little bit closer to the flowers, and they're looking absolutely gorgeous. We have this is a pumpkin here that I hope to grow up upward instead of across the grass, again as a experiment. We have some passion flower vine that I'm trying to propagate for my in-laws garden. So we have two there. In here we have a fig and a geranium and angelonia. This is I want to say it's a Lenten rose that I've been trying to grow for a number of years now. This is the morning lilac Ito peony. I'm just letting it do whatever it wants to do, and I think we have an echinacea over here in the corner. I want to say it's an echinacea. It may be a rudbeckia. I have no idea. And this little garden that we set up with the pumpkins and such, looks like we have quite a few sweet pea. Look at the bee climbing around in there. See? And it looks like something's been eating away at the sweet pea. We also have black-eyed Susan vine. And then over here, this is a watermelon. And on the other side of the hydrangea, and you can see the watermelon, I need to put a bit more soil there. It's growing in that direction, but this one is growing up, 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 up. This vine, and what we'll do, if it does form any fruit, we will support it from the tree. And then over here, I don't know if we're gonna have any peaches this year. With all the rain and everything, my parents' yard didn't have any peaches either. Easter lilies coming out in the back. First year for that particular one, and we put a daylily down here. This is where the compost bin used to be, and the calla lilies are still around because it's still pretty cool. This is the area where we were having so much trouble with the soil last year. I put some coleus in there this year, but we actually have the Luna hibiscus coming back. This is the pink poinsettia from Christmas before last, still surviving, and here's a scabiosa that's coming up. So quite happy about that. I think I did have one on the other side, but I think it got eaten, and then we have a Gara in the back. And over on this side, this is the other lemon tree. As you can see, the former leader died off, but we have this one coming up, and you can see all the areas where, again, we've cut to be able to grow this one up. And this is the Seven Sisters rose. We have put some coleus around it, so it's looking rather nice. And then Seamus has gotten his gardener's badge. He got it this past Friday, but his little garden continues to grow. Here's a sunflower. It's starting to fade, but about a week or so ago he did plant another seed, so we have that down there. He also has some seedlings in his room. We might put one there. This is the remaining snapdragon from the set, I think, of 4 that he had that got killed. But if you look in here, you can see there's the one, and then there's the second. There's a second one there, and there's a third one there, and we may even, nope, actually, was it 2 or was it 3? I really can't remember right now, but in any case, they're growing back. They are growing back. I mean, you know, the original stick is there, and, you know, where it was blown dry, but the snapdragon has grown out. This is the cucumber. He does have a cucumber on that side of the fence. We'll look at it, but you can Barely see it right. You can barely see it right here. Right there. We'll look at it on the other side. The sweet peas are still growing up the trellis. As you can see, the grapes, he actually has a bunch of grapes growing. The strawberries are starting to turn red. We did harvest one of the eggplant. It looks like another one's coming here. Looks like we have some damage right there. And we still have violas. And then the carrots are coming along nicely. So we have to start thinking about what we're going to do as we start getting into succession planting, and then of course into the fall. We do have 2 coleus in this area because, again, another area where the soil was really poor. Star jasmine right here. And we do have this little pink, I think it's pink, rose there. We have the climbing rose here that I'm letting just grow up this year. And then I've asked Aiden to put a arbor type piece there, because last year we at least had this pigeonberry growing over this entryway and over the chicken coop, but with the hurricane and everything, all of the covering for the chicken coop is gone. You can see that Aiden's had to replace the top with white to help with the heat. We have the guava here in the corner. I've cut off a couple of branches and they're in this little pot. All the different type of coleus. Again, lots and lots of sun, so I'm sorry, water. So they've just sprouted in the last week or so. We actually have some tomatoes in this area. Unfortunately, with all of the rain, we have a lot of powdery mildew. So I'm going to have to start dealing with that. And then, of course, it's supposed to still keep raining, which is kind of irritating. Over on this side, we have more of the herbaceous peonies. In here, we have fig right here, more tomato plants, strawberry plants. And look what has happened here. This is the other tree peony that I thought I had killed, but it actually put up a leaf, and it looks like it has more ability to sprout. And this one right here this is what it will look like if it were to flower, which I have absolutely no idea if it ever will, but I'm just grateful to have it. We have our Rose of Sharon white hibiscus in the corner. Our cedar trees are coming along nicely, and it looks like we have another Easter lily coming up right here. We have some gomphrena right there. So again, all coming along nicely. This is where I'm thinking about putting that a snapdragon from the back. So we have a pink and white right here. We have the red and white right here. So I was thinking about having that I think that's an apple blossom blush right here, and then we have chrysanthemum, and that we had in the spring. That part died off, but it looks like we have more coming back. And then we have some sedum around here. And then this part of the garden, still looking good with the lantana and the pentas. The climbing rose, I need to put more soil in there. A lot has washed away. Let's go on this side of the garden and walk down and then do the front part. So again, this is the view from the driveway. We're starting to get really good coverage for the trellis. And there's the cucumber. It's kind of crazy, but it's working. Lots and lots of sweet pea growing on this side as well. And that's more cucumber. And the grapevine. Over here, we do have the monstera in the corner. We are contemplating whether we should cut back these branches for the pigeonberry here at the bottom, so we might do that. We do have quite a few coleus in this area. That was the project from last year because this was a very shaded area. However, if you look, we do have an Angelonia in there, and we even have some Dianthus. So these are all things that have come back. The geranium. This is the copper kettle Ito peony. The leaves got butchered during the windstorms, so we just have violas and such in there. I'm probably going to plant a few other annuals in here, but we do have some veronica that we planted out this past week. Gomphrena down here. That I believe is a white lantana, if that comes up. More coleus. This pot, this is a 3-year-old penta in this pot, and it's still looking gorgeous. And then our Agrippina rose, as we did a while ago, it's been tied back so it doesn't go into the car and get damaged. It's been flowering prolifically. More lantana. This is the purple lantana this time around, and coming into more of our herbaceous peonies. You can see here we have stock. We have, oh my goodness, I think this is, well, it looks like we have 2 things here. We may have, I'm not entirely sure. This looks like we have, nope, that may be the same plant. I'll have to see what that is. I planted I'll have to check, but as you can see, we have some zinnias in here as well. This pot, sedum and portulaca. I was going to put another coleus in there, but I haven't yet. We have the coleus in the corner that is 2 years old now, but with the 3-year-old rosemary, award-winning rosemary, it seems to be fighting for some space. And then this is the geranium that came from my mother-in-law's. Absolutely gorgeous how it flowers, not flat leaves. This is the next hollyhock. As you can see, that's doing rather well here. And then we have the geranium going up the fence over here. In here, this is from the fall, and this is caladium still has come up in various areas where we had planted it. I had put this absolutely gorgeous zinnia, not zinnia, coleus in here, and then the caladiums came up, and then we have our black cherry vinca that we got last fall, and that's coming up. We got a chrysanthemum that's coming through. This is, I think, almost 2 years old now as well with the Dianthus. And then we have the nasturtium growing through. I do give that to the rabbit. And then this is the other tree peony. And again, just letting it do what it wants to do here. And this one right here is, I think this we have growing here is chamomile. So the one in the other pot wouldn't be chamomile. And as I said, just we put some cosmos in here. We still have the violas in here. We are trying to get some zinnias to grow. We have a sunflower coming up. These were all poppy pots for Liam. But when we cut back the Chinese hibiscus, he put some of the cuttings in, and they seem to be taking, and then we'll move them. Oh, forgot this pot. The second year of these snapdragons still going, and then we do have we have 2 right now. We have portulaca over here. We have a older coleus here, and then we have that lime colored one over here. But I've been putting it around that way because the burgundy color snapdragons have been looking really good. And then we've had some bug damage over here. Oh, this is the pawpaw. The leaves are finally coming back. We've had some bug damage over here where the sunflower's been eaten before it flowered. So that's a bit of a shame. And this is the shell rose. It's living its best life in this area. And look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Again, the caladium's coming up down there. And looks like the zinnias that were in that corner have been eaten. This is the other hydrangea, and it's enjoying the shade. Looks like it's going to send up lots of flowers. It didn't lose its leaves this year, so that was interesting. Then the banana looks like it's throwing up a lot of leaves. I might move that, but I like it, move it down to Aiden's grandfather's house. The pots here, we still have them going. The dwarf peach tree is still in this area. It needs some soil as well. And then looking back along the driveway. And then finally, let's go into the front yard. We've been letting the hedge, and this is Suriname cherry and various hibiscus. We've been letting that grow up a bit higher. So the rain has been good because it's been letting us just, let it grow up. We are going to have to cut this back though, because as you can see, it's making it a little bit tight to walk through. Initially, when we moved this walkway around, I wanted to do an arbor over here as well, but haven't. And then everything's still looking pretty decent here. Look at that. I would love to put that in the garden somewhere. And these are Liam's plants that came back from school. So we can figure out where we're going to put those. Thankfully, the basil is still, purple basil is still viable. We took the suckers off of the tomato plants, so we'll see which ones actually root. This is one of the rose cuttings that has taken, so we have that here. The parsley from the ag show, I still haven't put that in the ground. This is the pigeonberry that had actually started growing in the side garden. I've taken that outside. I can give that as a gift. That's what's in the other garden. So it's the rose color one of this. I put that in to try to get the bugs to go away from the tomato plants. And this tomato plant looks like we're going to have some soon. And then more coleus. We do have a couple of seedlings that we'll be able to plant, but as you can see, the soil's saturated from all the rain we've had. We've just been trying to pour it out every day. Lots of zinnias. Looks like we got some scabiosa back there. Some lavender coming up. Not much else at the moment. As you can see, I've been pricking some out. Some catmint here. Rudbeckia back there. Looks like we got some butterfly, Madam Butterfly, peaches and cream, snapdragon coming up there, Spanish lavender there, bachelor buttons there. But again, lots and lots of water. And then this is the side garden. This one, again, you can see the water comes down and usually hits this corner. So, a lot of the stuff doesn't really grow, but it's the Coleus seems to have been enjoying it. We have other Coleus, Gara in here, 2 rose bushes, lots of very tall snapdragons this year. And this rose bush right here, I think, is a Cecil Brunner climbing rose. And it's come over on this side, and we have some roses on that side. This one, a lot more thorns. This is the Joseph's coat. We actually had that flower last week as well. So this looks like we're going to have quite a few roses this year. This area does not flower very often. This is probably the first time in a couple of years. Our Easter lilies are out in June. The sweet peas are still growing up the trellis. That needs to be connected to the wall. Over here, the herb pot actually has herbs in it after being, eaten by bugs. The Coralita's looking beautiful now that it's flowered. The Dusty Miller looks nice. We do have an osteospermum in here, but as you can see, it's reaching for the sky. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, stock and all sorts of things, but the Dusty Miller has gone crazy this year. You can see the Black-Eyed Susan vine is all over the place. This is my 18-year-old, probably 18, 19 years old now, hydrangea that we've been taking cuttings off of over the years. Well, Seamus has, and it's doing a wonderful job this year. The pumpkin pot, got too much water, I think, but it seems to be doing okay. I do have a volunteer, 2 volunteer pumpkin plants to go in. We put this shell rose into the ground, and I've put quite a bit other things around it, like Gara and Dahlia, and we've put the Cosmos around here as well. And so we'll see how that looks. But the shell roses are beautiful this year. And then lots of Coleus. We still have the pot of violas, and it looks like we have that's a Gaiety daisy there. Looks like we have a salvia growing in there. This is a pumpkin that I need to transplant. Oh, look at this. This is the chamomile, and so that's growing right now. It's nice to have. And this is Bacopa, looking good. And the stalk, that's all self-seeded. This is my pepper pot, and it's not doing very well this year. I think too much water. On the other hand, this pot with the Angelonia and the Portulaca looking amazing. This is a climbing rose from a cutting that I don't know what it looks like, and I want to actually see if I could get a flower off of it before I plant it somewhere, because I want to see what color it is. And then the last part, cedar tree has tons of cedar berries on it this year, and that's how we get the little cedar plants. What we'll end up doing is walking around and looking around on the ground afterwards and see if any birds have eaten seeds and have dropped them. We do need to mow over the jonquils, but on this side we do have another rose that we've started from cutting. We put that into the ground because it was just not enjoying the pot anymore. We have a daylily right here. Look at this stalk, again self-seeded, and I like this geranium color as well. Isn't it beautiful? And then coming on this side, that's looking at the shell rose from the other side, and the Gara and the Dahlia. And then over here we have, I think these ones are the pansies. We have the other rose that we grew from a cutting, the other side of the hydrangea pot, and it looks like we still have lots of things growing in the pumpkin pot. This is the Liam's garden is the pot below, but it looks as if the Black-Eyed Susan vine and the Coleus have taken over this area. We have the daylilies that have been flowering this year. They didn't flower last year, but under here we have Liam's pot that has columbine in it. You can see that there's some portulaca in there. Lots of different things. Looks like he still has some pansies in there, but and there's a stephanotis back there somewhere. And then we have the this is the blue Rose of Sharon hibiscus, and then we have more Easter lilies in this section. And then we'll look back this way, and I think more and more we're going to start putting the plants in the ground along this area, even though some of them do better in pots. So we'll figure out how best to do that. That's looking at the tree. It's getting so big, our wedding tree. And then the hedge again, growing that one up. You can actually see we have some cherries. This is the cherry, and you can see them growing through here. Hibiscus. Looks like we're going to have some Easter lilies here. And then some coleus. Ooh, I have a weed to pull out. Let's do that. And we have a Luna hibiscus coming in here. There's the Gaura right there. And the coleus is looking very good. We have coleus in this bed as well. And all in all, everything's drying out rather nicely. So hopefully we'll get a bit of heat. Oh, I think this is either the white or the purple. White or the purple lantana right here. And then we have the Angelonia right here. And yeah, so everything is coming along nicely. Last pot, that is a Chinese hibiscus and coleus that needs to be planted as well. So yeah, so everything's coming along nicely. And hopefully we have quite a few plants for succession planting in the garden. So we're gonna start bringing some of that around over the next couple of days. But hopefully the weather will get better and I'll be able to, bring the camera along for some of the things that we need to do. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.